Do you want something interesting and a bit scary? All of this are my study notes from French. Yes, only from one subject. You would expect that this is all from all of my subjects, but not at all. These are all from French. However, the problem is not in my handwriting style, although I thought that is really beautiful. And now I have understood how to write notes more efficiently in a much better way and to actually save my time, save my hand, and save my brain capacity to actually retain this information. Today, I'm gonna tell you all my secrets how I understood and how I write my notes right now. So let's get started. Let's start from summer break. And yeah, I'm a bit nerd. So before summer, I used to search for my books, or at least for the concepts that I'm gonna to learn in the next year, to get familiar with the ideas or the concepts that I'm gonna learn next. And so I was literally learning every single topic from math, calculus, biology, even English, to get ahead and to be more prepared and to be less stressed throughout the school year. Of course, it doesn't have to be so extreme. You can just familiarize with the concepts and not to learn them ahead. Because I think that I really overdid this. When I actually got back to school, I was really bored because I have already learned all of this and I really didn't know what I'm supposed to do next. So just get familiar with the concepts that you're gonna learn next, and you'll be in a pretty good shape. Now, let's not focus too much on summer break and let's get down to actually school year. Before class, try to identify the main concept that you're gonna learn in this class to be, as well as in the summer, much more prepared for this upcoming class. As well, my personal tip is to get familiar with the concepts that you're probably gonna learn in this lesson. For instance, when I got into my first calculus class, I decided to be prepared for this and to learn everything about derivatives, integrals, and other concepts related to calculus. So I was really prepared for this tough concepts and tough terms definitions that a lot of my classmates weren't prepared for. Search up any unfamiliar terms or phrases that you probably didn't learn about before, and write down their definitions and explanations. The good model for this is Kernel model that I will link right here. This is basically a template for your notes that you can use to retain some difficult definitions and to write explanations for them. You can learn more about this, or I can create a separate video about this method and others if you are interested. So let me know in the comments down below. Another really cool technique is not to memorize exactly the way it's written in the textbook, but try to rephrase them in your own words, or try to rewrite them in your own words and how you have understood it. It's basically the same way as you prepare to teach someone. You teach them the concepts that you have previously learned before, and you are not teaching them the way you have learned it before. You are teaching them in the way you have understood this concept. For instance, when I tutor someone in math or in languages, I explain them in the way that I have understood the concept, and I use my personal examples and my personal experience in life that I got with this concept. And so try to teach yourself with the way you have understood it in your own words. This will help you to maximize your retention and to explain it much in simple terms for you. Because let's be honest, textbooks are not all the time really clear about the definitions and explanations. So it is crucial to understand and to be able to rewrite or rephrase the information that you are learning in your own words. If you are attending a lecture or the teacher is explaining something and you are not given any time to ask any questions, write it down. This really cool technique and really cool strategy to learn more about the concept if you are interested and to be prepared for the next class, because sometimes teachers want to give a lecture and that's it, you are free, but we are not the students who just want to listen and leave. We want to actually learn. So write down any questions or confusions that you have in your notes, and later then you can go to your teacher or professor or just look up the concept on the internet and to learn more about this. The best way to learn from me and not to keep the information in the short-term memory and to replace it into your long-term memory is to connect the new learned information with the previous learned information. Like this, you can fortify the information that you have learned in the previous lectures or classes with the new learned information or concept. Like this, you will get a broad and widespread understanding of the subjects that you are learning and the best understanding and efficient way of memorizing the new information that you have learned. My teachers in school used to talk really fast, and I wasn't able to write all the things that they are talking about. This was probably the great thing that I had to remember things by myself and understand them by myself. But sometimes I had to write them down, but I just didn't have time. And so, exactly for this reason, I started using some abbreviations. And one of the most important things is you have to use constant abbreviations throughout the time that you are learning the subject. Because, for instance, in one class you decided to abbreviate this word like this, in other class this word you are abbreviated in a different way and you are just confused. Try to use a consistent abbreviations throughout the time that you are learning. For example, instead of and, write AT sign. Eliminate all the vowels in the words to get more time and to retain more information in your textbooks. Eliminate all the vowels in the words or phrases. Like this, you will be able to write down more information with less time. If you like to color code, that's great. That's a really cool technique to memorize. And in my previous video, I actually talk about this concept that you have to change font size, font weight, change the color to keep your brain engaged and not to be too bored. But please don't do this in the heat of the lecture. You simply won't have time to make this beautiful note taken and to make it so aesthetic. You won't have time for this, okay? Write down in all messy notations, just be sure that you will understand it later on. And at home, you can draw as many pictures and as many diagrams and cool aesthetic notes as you wish. Try to use your time in classroom to retain as much information as you can. And did you listen what I said? I said focus on retaining as much information throughout the class as you can, not writing down all the information that you can. Instead, you have to write the key points for the key information that you have learned. After class, you can simply add definitions or explanations for the concept or abbreviations that you have written throughout your class. I remember when I was writing my concepts or definitions in one of my classes in school, my teacher used to say that we have to rewrite all the paragraphs to remember much more information and to memorize it. But back then I already thought that it wasn't the great technique. Instead of writing all the passages or just long passages while you're studying throughout your lecture, I suggest you to write short passages with key information. And after class, when you're at home, in a peace, cozy environment, I really suggest you that you transform your notes into a new format. For instance, I absolutely love mind maps, quiz questions, or study guides. And if your friend allows you to do that, compare your notes with their notes. Like this, you can add up new information if you forgot to write something down, and they can actually also learn something new from your notes. Like this, you will be able to exchange new information and to retain more in your brain. I urge you to try these techniques for your efficient notes taking. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, give me your thumbs up, and share your opinion in the comments down below. I'll see you in my next videos. Goodbye.